Here we go. All right. I don't even know how it sounds. Hold on, let me see how it sounds real quick. Hello. All right, I'm good right there. And oh my God, stop it!
I got a headache.
Let's try this again. Stop it. All right, you gotta relax.
You have to say 1, 2, 3. 4. Say it in there.
1, 2, 3.
Say hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Oh
no! What was this? What's going on?
I'm choked on the bed.
What you did?
Can we please run a podcast in peace? Do something. Can we get this
That's
right?
impossible with this one. Stop.
Right.
That's annoying.
This is not going.
Okay. Fix your hair. Sit up straight. Come.
You have to leave this like this. You have to leave it like that, alright?
Don't do that.
No, you don't do it like
do
that
that.
because it doesn't sound right.
Don't do this.
Why you want to do that? With his little finger. Why do you want to do that? It's bothering you?
So what makes me do it?
If you want to be a rock star, that's what it is.
Like that.
You want to be a rock star.
Yep.
To repeat the brown white.
Okay, you finished?
It looks good. You look like a rock star,
You
bro.
got it out your system? One more time?
Yes.
Sing.
Don't punch up my railroad.
Uh-oh.
Don't bother.
Oh! You already did your podcast. You're being greedy right now.
You did a podcast?
You're being greedy
You did a
now. Now you're
podcast?
trying to get on everybody's podcast. What's going on here? You have to share.
You did a podcast?
No, this mine.
This is your podcast?
Just a four, but
Look at him.
Test. Look, test.
Look. Oh my goodness.
This is mine right here. You got your beer? Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
Hurry up! You recording?
It's mine.
You're recording. We have to hurry up.
Hey, sexy lady. Sexy lady.
Oh no.
But I gotta move on.
Look.
That shit lasted all of 5 seconds.
We didn't even get to put our headphones on.
Damn. This is crazy. This is like a
I
plague.
thought you were hanging out with Yaya.
This is not even
Look.
right.
You don't want to stay.
This is not cool.
What
are
if you give
doing?
him the
This
SAND?
mine cool.
Nah, he ain't want that.
Maybe. If you
He
give him
just
that
took
kind
off my headphones, man.
Look, Yaya got something for you.
Yeah.
That'll keep him occupied for like 10 minutes.
This
Yeah.
mine.
Okay.
It's not yours.
But
You
look
didn't
at-
pay for it. Amazon had a sale and I got it.
Stop.
Not you.
Look at Yaya. She got something for you. Look.
Get out of here.
Yes.
Get out of
His
here.
hurts.
Go.
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 Look.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Yaya.
Oh my God.
You see what I'm talking about?
You
You
know?
see why I do Instacart? You see? Priorities. My sanity is my priority right now.
You know, that was the best thing Tyrese ever did in his life.
What?
That's that song.
What
Sweet lady.
Why?
Won't you be
Oh
my
God!
sweet
You
lover?
remember when you did karaoke?
Oh, for you?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
in Williamsburg.
Yeah.
Aw, what'd you sing?
Some Drake shit. I had to, man. They have food. They invited us. They
They have food and barely anyone there. We
Yeah,
were
so
like
I
one
was
of
like,
them.
you know what? I look like Drake a little bit, or he looked like me because I'm older than him. And I sang his first single. What was that? Baby, you're my everything.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You sang the whole song.
Yeah, it had the words.
I was as red as a sofa.
Jesus Christ.
And then we had free food.
We did. Yes, we did.
We literally crashed her party, right? Like, we weren't invited. We just walked into the rec center.
We went there for what? This is before we had a kid.
Yeah. Yes.
Jesus
and we
Christ.
had a little bit of freedom.
Jesus Christ.
We were hanging out. We were hanging out in Williamsburg.
I don't even
The
know
kids
what
were
that
away, and we were just
I don't even
exploring.
know what the hell that felt like.
We were exploring Williamsburg. We found the rec center.
Would you like to sing karaoke with us?
You said yes.
You guys got food?
We'll sing for food.
I got one song for you.
Oh my goodness.
You know? On the
That
house
took
with little
cojones.
guitars.
That was brave.
It was alright. I mean,
You sing karaoke in front of a bunch of strangers, like people who've never.
They're
Is that
old.
why
They're
you
old
were
people.
able to do it? Because they don't know you. Like you
nah,
never
it
see
was
them
because
ever
they were
again?
old. They were old. They didn't give a shit.
They didn't care.
Yeah. Like if it was people on my block or whatever. Like, my voice hurt. Not today.
You weren't nervous? I was nervous for you.
Nah. The motivation was the food.
Mhm.
And it was one of those days. It was just like we were just chilling. It was cool.
That was fun. Okay.
What's going on here? You interviewing me or am I interviewing you?
I thought
The
this
Chastity
was a
Cortijo show.
conversation. This is a
Excuse
conversation.
me. All right. So keep my interview. I never got interviewed before.
You've never been interviewed before?
I have been interrogated.
No.
If that counts.
That is, I guess, a level of
That
being
is an interview.
interviewed. Jeez.
But never interview like job interview, you know?
A job interview.
Job interview.
How do you respond to those? Are you like, do
You
give
put
it
on
some
your
more?
job interview voice.
That's your
first
job.
of all.
No, come on. What's your real job interview?
Hi, how are you doing?
That is not your job interview
Hey,
voice.
how you doing, sir? Yes, I know how to do all that. I am an expert in everything. As long
You
as
sound
the
like
job
a mad
is in
old
my hands.
scientist. You don't sound like you're applying for a job.
Whatever the job is, I can do it. I just need to pay my bills.
Oh goodness.
I got the
There's
job.
a phone voice,
There's
right?
The job interview voice.
You have a phone voice.
Phone voice depends on the number. Like if it's a weird number, like it might be calling for, I don't know, insurance or something. You put your job interview. Hi, how you doing? This is Joseph speaking. How can I help you?
Look.
Mama,
What, boo?
I appreciate
Yay!
What? Good
Good
job.
job. Enjoy. Say thank you to Yaya.
you.
Oh.
You see the phone, you see Scrub. You're like, yeah, yeah, what up, yeah?
Ratchet. Ratchet. What's your scam likely voice?
My who?
The scam likely voice. You know when you see scam likely on the phone? What do you say?
Hello, hello. You call again, me? I need it. I need it right now.
But why do you mess with
Call
them?
me
You understand
again. I
that's
tell
somebody's
you. I
job.
tell you again. Huh?
That's somebody's job. Why you mess with you giving them a hard time?
They giving me a hard time. Yeah, whoever came up with the scam likely ID on the phone, God bless you. Because I would be picking up my phone like, just fucking stop calling me. Stop calling me, damn it.
That's somebody's job. That's why, I don't know. I try not to give them a hard time because at the end of the day, they're just trying to make money on collections or selling or whatever.
Yeah,
That's their
it's
job.
horrible. It's horrible living. They make money somehow. And maybe it's like cold calling training. You know how like some of the best salesmen have to do cold calls for like years?
They get numb to the rejection.
And they just know like, hi. I'm sorry to be bothering you right now, but can I please talk to you for 1 second? This could be the sale of your lifetime.
You're really annoyed.
Like,
I'm already annoyed.
I'm not gonna hang up. But what are you talking
being
about?
too
Tell me.
polite.
You look like you know what you're talking about. I don't mean to bother you. I know. I just need to talk to you for a little bit, please. Just do not hang up. You know, I have a good offer for you.
Could you do that job? Could you sit there and call like 300 people a day?
I could do any job for the right price.
Don't say that.
I swear to God. I swear to God.
We have morals. We have values and limits. Goodness, I could do any job for the right price. I'm gonna make you a t-shirt that says that.
When it comes down to it, I had like 49 jobs
You did.
on paper.
You have.
And then another like
I think every
100 off.
conversation we have about that, I learn about a new job you had.
Remember when I worked at this? Goddamn. I was just talking to Ray the other day. I told him I was working at the slaughterhouse in Texas. And he was like, what the fuck? You worked at I was like, yeah, you remember?
A real slaughterhouse?
Yeah.
Like
a real,
where
like,
the cows end up and you see them hanging.
Bulls and chickens.
That's where they killed the animals?
Killed the animals, yeah.
What did you do?
I cleaned.
Oh, no, babe.
Yeah.
You can't come back from a job like that. How you come back from that?
I did. It was only for a few months. I stood in Texas a whole 6-7 months or something like that. It wasn't that long.
That's long enough to do a job like that. That's crazy.
They try to, like, I actually enjoyed it. It was like some scared straight shit. Like, I'm going to send you out there to work with your uncle and you're going to see how the animals die and shit. Like, oh, like, I'm not scared. Like, I'm just training. There was this, my other uncle, which was kind of, you know, he was in the service and shit, you know, all that shit. Mm-hmm. And he was, I like, more, like, went towards him because he was actually true. He was a boxer. He was the one that died. Mm-hmm. Uncle Lewis. He was pretty cool. You know what I'm saying?
Did he work there? Is that how you got that job?
His brother or his stepbrother or something like that worked there. Okay. It was like a family thing. So I was trying to get scared straight.
They were trying to. That's their version of military school.
You know, they paid me the minimum wage. Mm-hmm. I think it was like $5 an hour at that time or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was alright. You know, because I came back, I was good. I came back more like, I cut a motherfucker. Oh my God. I don't know what they were thinking of sending me over there, but it was retarded. You know, you don't do that to a child.
How old were you?
Like 16.
Really?
Yeah.
That young?
Yeah.
No.
Like 16 years old when I went to Texas. Yeah.
And you worked in a slaughterhouse, cleaning up the
guts
remnants,
and trays
the guts and all that
hosing
stuff.
Down the floors and stuff like that. Yeah. It was alright.
I'm surprised you didn't become vegan sooner.
That's crazy, right?
Just witnessing that. Like I think a lot of us take advantage of how we get our food and our meat. Yeah. We don't have to see that process. I think if we saw that process like up front and live, in that manner, in the slaughterhouse manner, I think it would be different. If we were taught how to hunt, and I think we would have a different appreciation, right?
I don't know who it was, man. It was a family that we used to go to. It was my mom. No, my mom, she had her girlfriend. You know, she had her. She's a lesbian. She is.
Stop.
My mother's a lesbian as shit.
You're gonna.
She had a girlfriend. Her first one was cool.
Oh my gosh.
She was the one that, like, she was the friend and shit. You know what I mean? You know when you're trying to hide it, you're like, oh, this is my friend. Like, we all know, motherfucker. She brought us up to, like, Connecticut and stuff like that.
Okay.
And over there, they had some dude, I forget his name, but he taught us how to hunt and shoot birds and stuff like that. And
have you ever hunted?
By mistake.
No. Have you ever hunted and eaten what you hunted?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you you hear him screaming in the background? Yeah. Are you able to take that out or no?
No.
he's just gonna infiltrate.
I could try though. I don't know. My editing is not up there yet.
Anyway, so
there's a program I gotta buy actually where I could when we get the camera set up.
Oh, and
where
then
you can switch,
to,
but they don't let you do it on iMovie. You could do it, but it's so time.
Oh, you're gonna have to upgrade your stuff.
It's like $300.
Investment, not expense. Remember? Mindset.
Is this, what kind of podcast is this? Is this an interview? Is this like a shit talking?
I don't know.
I was supposed to interview you. I was supposed to talk about how great you are.
Oh, stop it. Cut it out. We're 2 beers in. Cut the shit.
I'm dead ass.
I appreciate you thinking or saying that I'm great, but I'm only as great as the people I'm surrounded by.
I'm fucking winging it.
I'm winging it. We both are. We're doing pretty great.
Uh-oh.
He's coming?
You had any plans for today?
Yes.
Yeah.
You see this? Look, I've been studying and writing and planning and studying. And then at 5:15, we have to go to Evie's new dance.
Evie's dancing
class.
at new. That's
and
pretty cool.
Yeah, she's at a new spot. We signed her up for a new spot over by not far from the Barclays Center, I guess you could say, right? Right next to the mall. So today's her official first class. She did a trial last week. She did amazing, and today's her official first class.
Oh.
Well,
I thought Justin was competing again.
no, Justin wants to do October 19th for the UFC gym regionals. We'll see about that, but trying to be more diligent and documenting everything. And all the stuff I've been studying, and everyone says the same thing. It's really important to document what you've done and what you have to do, and keep things into perspective. I try to schedule 1 day a week for photo shoot days so that everybody's in a routine. Like, we know mommy's gonna do photo shoots on Wednesdays, and I can tell you, like, don't do anything on Wednesdays. Or if you're gonna do stuff, make sure you include Bubby so that I could go and shoot on Wednesdays. So I've been trying to organize some stuff to make life a little easier around here.
It's getting there. I remember when you first started, you kind of... Yeah, I think it's like that with everything. When you first start, you kind of got to, like, abide by everybody else's schedule. Like, you got to follow everybody's schedule, see when everybody else is available, until you start gaining, like, substance and credibility. And you're shit now, so you be like, you got to follow my schedule now. Like,
so it's like, I just got the call before we started the podcast for next week, right? And he called and he said, we need to do a shoot in Sunset Park. When are you available? I was like, well, when's the client available? He said, no, when are you available? So I said, we'll stick to Wednesdays. Let's just, anytime you need a shoot, let's just stick to Wednesdays. At least you know there's some consistency, and he can plan, and he can immediately tell the client she's usually available on Wednesdays. And, you know, it makes everything a little bit more smooth. And then I do that because I'm working around everyone else's schedule. So I know now Evie has dance on Thursdays. You were going to jiu-jitsu on Tuesdays.
that's going to change in October.
Why?
It's going to be kind of 3 days a week, maybe more.
So then you just need to tell me what days.
Yeah. They do got 6 o'clock in the morning classes, so I'm thinking about going straight.
That's a good look. Yeah. After
so,
work.
And then once I start training there for a little bit, I can start going to Henzo's.
In the city.
Yeah, like on the open mat classes and stuff like that, because they're the same shit. Oh, look at this shit! Oh my god, I wish that's what I gotta learn, how to show these pictures on the camera. You know.
They got a motor house around the corner for sale for $2,300. It doesn't look like that, though.
Look at this shit. This shit is amazing. Oh my god, it don't look that good inside. Right? Was I bugging?
What do you want it to look like inside?
Like Tron.
No.
That
looks beautiful. What motorhome has velvet on the sofa and lights on the kitchen? Not even kitchens have lights on the counter like that. And marble on the floor, please.
I want to see some projectory shit. I want to see fucking Morpheus come out the floor and tell me that my eggs are done in the microwave.
But you're not in there to stay there. You're in there to travel.
You know what I'm saying? I want my guns to come out the side of the goddamn RV.
Goodness. That's marble on the
Regular
floor
marble
of a motor
on the
bus.
floor. That's heavy.
That is
What if we on a chase?
OD.
What if we in a chase? I want my armored vehicle RV. That's what I want. This is too luxury. I mean, I get it. All right. You big pimpin'. All right.
Well, that's probably for like movie sets.
Ooh, is that crystal?
The celebrities that are traveling.
That's crystal in the sink right there. All right, I'll give it up. It's probably like 1,000 billion. I said something stupid.
You're not spending a lot of time in there, so it's like, do that in a house.
Whoa, this is it. All right, first of all, this is a Murphy bed that's in an RV. I don't even know how that's possible. That's pretty dope. And 13 biggest houses in the world. We don't got that kind of money.
Yeah. Mindset.
13 biggest houses in the world. You know
biggest? Let's see how big is one. Let's see how big.
I don't gotta click.
I don't gotta
click it.
What are you doing with all those rooms?
One of those people have Jesus' blood somewhere stored in their fucking cabinet. We would never get those houses,
we don't have
right?
Jesus' blood.
It's nice to think that. This is generation blood.
You know what's crazy, though? That's generation.
You know how many fucking armies you gotta kill for that damn castle right there?
But you know what's crazy? These are not like, I don't know. Every time I see those TV shows, I don't think they're primary residences. Like, who's gonna live in a house? First of all, who's gonna live in a house by themselves with their small family that has like 40 rooms? People do that. What do you need all those
people
rooms
do that.
for? Who's cleaning that?
You know what it is?
There's a lot of toilets
I didn't understand it at first, and then I went into Pat Riley's house.
Right.
Long time ago.
Was that his primary house?
That was one of his primary houses. I don't know if it was.
You can't say one of his. That's a double negative.
Well, when you're that rich, it's one of your primaries.
But is that what we said the other day? Is that where your junk drawer is?
It's not. It wasn't his. Okay, it wasn't his primary house.
Your primary house.
It wasn't
is
his end or game
okay.
house. It was his house to come to when he was in New York.
That's his New York house.
His New York house.
Okay.
And it was.
And he spent X amount of months there out of the year. Out of here.
It was. I don't know how many rooms. It was more than 20 rooms. In general, it was a castle. Like you walked around, and I can understand why you have that many rooms because when you're stressed,
everybody's
sometimes
separated.
You're separated, and sometimes you just want to get lost.
Sure.
You get lost. You know what I mean? You're like, what room is this? What room am I in right now? You know, I've never been in here, and
you have a room for everything, right? So you have like maybe your record collection room where you just listen to your music, and then you have your movie room where you just this.
And you travel. You could travel to a spot you never been to in a long time. You know,
your library.
Things don't get stagnant. You know, so I can understand why it's so big. So you might never seen a room that you have special items in that you haven't seen in a while because it takes so long to get over there. You haven't.
But then when you need to chill out and meditate, you sit in that room and you appreciate it because you're surrounded by things that you haven't seen.
Hell yeah. You know?
I can dig it. I can live like that. We should live like that.
Yeah.
That should be a goal. Write it on the board.
It's on there.
It is on there.
It's on there.
Oh, that's still too small though.
It is.
That's still too small.
It's more. That one was more like an investment one, I think. Like to have it there, but then can you sell it? It's still too much, right?
It's this.
It's ridiculous.
It's not too much. Not for this neighborhood. Not for this neighborhood.
It's only gonna get more money though, right? Like it has to be an investment. That price is only gonna go up.
They're saying now, and some of the clients I've shopped for recently have said that certain parts of downtown Brooklyn are more expensive than more expensive than Manhattan, period. Because there was a point where Manhattan overall was more expensive. Like you can be in the crappiest neighborhood in Manhattan, and that was still more expensive than parts of Brooklyn. But now that whole downtown area that you're looking at up there, where that is more expensive than
it has to like I don't
it's
see
becoming
it going
a
down
problem.
anytime soon.
And then not only that, especially because now that they're building these new constructions, it's not just like the new constructions are way out beating as far as luxury is concerned the newer Manhattan constructions. Like the new constructions in Brooklyn will have everything. Yeah. It'll have a pool, it'll have a garage, it'll have a game room for the kids. I just photographed in a Brooklyn building that had a room for the children that were residents. It was a big room, like maybe, no joke, like 4 times the size of our apartment. And it had like 4 TV screens all connected to video game consoles.
So it was a 2-bedroom.
No, this is just a community room for the building.
That's apartment. It's not that big.
This apartment's not that big. No, it was just a community room for the kids in the building to sit down and chill out and play games with other kids in the building. It was just a room. Like, it was just there. It had all the beanbag stuff. It had TVs on the wall with different game consoles. It had the soccer thing, the foosball table. And then that little room had a private little terrace for the kids. This is private. Like, they needed their key card in order to. You can only be a resident, and you needed a key card to get into this room.
When you go into a building, maybe let's say I don't know, Fifth Avenue, somewhere like that, skyscraper somewhere. Let's say it has 30 floors or whatever the case is. How much could one unit go over there in like a prime area in Manhattan? Let's say a 3-bedroom.
In Manhattan?
Yeah, 3-bedroom unit.
A 3-bedroom? Babe, you're talking about like double-digit millions, easy.
How much? Like estimate. I mean, I'm close to, let's say Union Square Circle.
3-bedroom Union Square?
Yeah.
Let's see. 3-bedroom Union Square.
Is it more than 20?
3-bedroom apartment. No, 3-bedroom. Let's do 3-bedroom condo. Union Square. Why Union Square? You like Union Square?
No, I'm just putting things in perspective right now.
Okay, let's see. Redfin.
It has to be
three beds, 3 baths. This is probably. Oh, Irving Place. Okay, so this is not bad. So this is $2.5 million.
Oh,
This is $2.5 million for Union Square. That's 3.2.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I just said. That this part of Brooklyn is outpricing Manhattan.
That's crazy. See,
And that's you're talking about Union Square.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Union Square is like.
Yeah.
That's college kid haven down there, right?
That's not even what. Look at that.
But it's because that
3.24. Hold on, but that's a 3-bedroom in a regular building.
this is 3 beds, 3 baths.
What about like a Trump building or one of those?
Let's see.
Like a skyscraper, because this building right here is at 50 floors at least.
I know, and it probably has all the amenities you can ever want. Look, 14th Street, 3 million, 4 beds, 3 baths. You're still not getting.
Man. Yeah, that's what 6 million.
Let's see.
But that's still nothing. Nothing compared. Not nothing, but like nothing.
But it's because of what those buildings.
You know
have
what I
inside.
expected? I expected to look at Union Square and see buildings for like 15, 20.
No, that's probably more like by Central Park.
Okay.
The east side.
Okay. Because I was thinking maybe if let's say you invested something like this now.
Oh, Billionaires Row, which is.
Would if you invest into this property now, do you think Brooklyn will become a better Manhattan in a sense, or
I don't think real estate ever goes down in New York.
no?
If it does, it's very small. It's always gonna go up.
I always think people always looking for like a different area. You know how people always like try to find newfound land.
No, because we always have generations that are like, oh my god, I want to go to New York and blah, blah, blah.
I feel like Brooklyn is changing into
because
like
we are from
a hub of Manhattan. You know, like you think it can happen or no?
It's already outpricing Manhattan. We just saw, so it's gonna be especially that neighborhood where that building that you like is.
That's crazy.
It's becoming like a mini extension, and that's not just here. It's I think it's every bridge point they said.
Mm-hmm.
Every bridge point, like by Brooklyn Manhattan Bridge. That's like Dumbo. Those are all the lofts, and it's the artsy part of Manhattan, but it's very touristy still. But that's like off of the Manhattan Bridge, right? That's off of Flatbush.
That's Manhattan Bridge.
So, I mean, look what they did there by Fulton Street. There was a time where you couldn't even walk through Fulton Street by yourself. Now you got Trader Joe's and Target and those bougie restaurants down there. That's crazy.
You need change, you know. It's good. There's no more violence.
It's paradox.
You know, the violence is less. I think why people are mad is because even though the violence is less, they're mad of who's controlling most of the real estate. You know, they're mad of who's controlling the space.
Well, that's part of our fault too, right? Whoever was there first, they didn't stand their ground. I guess they can't build if you don't sell. So if you own this square piece of land and that was generationally owned and like you never built on it, and someone comes in and buys it from you, then they do whatever they want. You know, they're going to build whatever they want. But if you don't want them to build whatever they want, then you need to build. You need to invest in the neighborhood.
You do.
You own the property, you sold it, so then the person that buys it can do whatever the hell they want with it. So if you didn't want them to, then you should have waited for us.
The thing is, when you own property, those are different times, you know what I mean? Like, with the race and everything like that, people will make it harder for you to live there, you know?
Yes.
By any kind of means, you know? Whether if it's destroying your property or making illegal allegations to get you in trouble for whatever. You know, they make it hard for you. You know, fines and stuff like that. They make it hard for you to live in a certain area.
Right. They make it uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable? Yeah, whatever you're hard. You know, imagine getting fines for nothing, for having a piece of paper somewhere or
they make it very uncomfortable.
You know, so they make me like, damn, we gotta get out of here.
Right.
But in the court, you have to take responsibility as in.
But then you can also take
by any means necessary. You
right,
know?
you can take the stance of, wait a minute, they're not going to push us out of here. We have to fight back. So it's, you know, it's both sides. It's like they're going to try to push you out, but you have to.
How much can you take, though? How much can a person take?
Depends on how bad you want it.
I support, like, you know what it is? This is divide and conquer. This is how they break down every civilization, every community. It's always divide and conquer. Every time somebody wants to stand and confront any kind of pressure, they never have support from the outer tiers. So what they do is they see that, like, anytime somebody is in command, they feed the outer tiers. They feed the weak, basically. You throw scraps to the weak so they could lead away from the command. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they do. That's where you get snitches. That's where you get...
Oh, so you're saying, like, when somebody wants to come in and take over a place and they know that they can't infiltrate from the very middle of that tribe, they're going to go to the outer parts where you have, like, little weaklings, and they're going to say, oh, but when we come in, we're going to bring jobs, and we're going to do this, and that's going to better you. This guy isn't doing this for you, but we're going to do this for you.
And the person in command, they can't give you what
the outside person is promising, but you don't know if the outside person is going to come through either. It's like...
They can't give it to you because they don't have it, but they promise you faith. They can promise you,
loyalty and faith.
They can promise if we stand strong, we can get there.
Right.
But people, they don't like to wait, you know? So that's why...
We're in a whole...
gentrification.
Yeah.
Where are you going? What's your plan you want to own property and stuff like that? Oh, yeah. You already own property.
Yeah, I want us to have quite a few things. First of all, I don't know. I showed you a couple weeks ago in one of my little notebooks I had written down in 2015, a manifestation what I had wanted. But that manifestation said that we were gonna be in a house by the ocean because I love the ocean. I've always loved the beach. So that's still a goal. You know, I think we need to get to the ocean. I think we need to be exposed to that element. But I would like it to be like south.
South?
Yeah, south. Maybe even the Caribbean. There.
Yeah, we gotta experience a lot of things. We gotta go a lot of places.
But it has to be, I want it to be intentional too. Like, I want it to be in a way that when we are investing in those other places, so that we can enjoy, we can visit those places, and then we can, real estate is an investment, so we have to make money from it. Especially with this vacation rental bandwagon that everybody is jumping on.
Do you think that's gonna last? You think they're gonna start?
It's always been. It's just hasn't been like.
No, as far as I know, it's gonna last. As far as the people always need a place to stay, but as far as regulations. Do you think they're ever going to start changing the tax laws and changing the regulations of how you...
Yeah, I think they are changing the tax laws and all that stuff so that the government, of course, can profit more on that. But it's funny because I was reading something that said, all these millennials are jumping on this Airbnb and vacation rental thing, and I'm like, wait a minute, I remember growing up as a kid and my dad taking us to like Poughkeepsie, New York, and we stood in some stranger's house, and we rented the house for the weekend, and then he took us to the Hamptons and we hung out in the Hamptons one weekend, but we stood in somebody's house. We didn't stay in hotels. Like, that's what we did. We went to PA. It was the same thing. So it's always been around. I don't know. He just paid the guy. It's like a friend of a friend. Yeah, my friend has a cabin up there. Blah, blah. You just pay them. Like, we're going to stay there for the weekend, blah, blah. So it's always been around, right? It's just, they made it hot. They made it hot with the Airbnb stuff. So it's always going to be around. So now the government's going to want to be able to tax it all around.
I have to try to find a loophole. How do you find a loophole with that?
I don't know. You got to be exclusive.
Yeah. You got to pay more money.
The people got to pay more money to stay in your spot. Mm-hmm. It's like, I wonder, I look at the celebrity, like the 13 biggest houses, right? So I look at this, like the celebrity houses. You know how they feature the houses on like all these vacation TV shows. Like, they don't go through Airbnb. They go through like private brokers. They go through private property managers. Yeah. So like they had to do it. You just create an exclusivity to it and a tribe. That just, it's word of mouth marketing. So you don't have to use those portals.
Airbnb, you're not using those things that can make you hot.
I mean, you probably, of course, you should still do your due diligence and pay your taxes and pay your fees. But why are we paying extra money to another service when if you just create?
Trying to create beef with Airbnb right now? No. Airbnb is gonna help you out right now. You better relax. Don't worry, Airbnb. She's trying to,
Take it back.
She's ambitious.
No, like I said, it was always done anyway, right? Like before Airbnb, if you wanted to hang out at, rent a house by the shore in South Jersey, you just had to find someone that knew someone that had a house that you can rent and put yourself on their calendar. Like they've been doing this from before.
So you're saying they're coaching vouchers?
They're brilliant. They saw a need they saw a problem where more people would want access to those types of homes, and they addressed it. They created a solution. So can't hate.
Shout out to Airbnb.
Yeah.
I don't want no war.
I'm not picking a fight.
I'm trying to get
troublemaker in this family.
I'm
not the troublemaker.
Are you serious?
I'm not the troublemaker.
How many times we went to court for you because of you?
We have never been to court for me. What we went to court for? What did we go to court for? Don't even bring that up here because we're still dealing with that battle.
All right, true that.
Next.
Raymundo was supposed to come in and do another podcast.
It's already 2:30 in the afternoon. Yeah. I don't think Dominic's going to give you any more quiet time until we leave.
He's a master at that. I gotta give him that. When will you start pointing him in jiu-jitsu?
He's gonna be 3.
That's next week, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna be 3 too. Look at that. Your birthday's coming too.
4.
You're gonna be 4?
0.
Master. Damn. I gotta wow to see that.
To know that.
Congratulations. You made it
to the next level.
Leveling up. That's when you finally become an adult.
I feel it.
In your bones?
No, not yet. Not yet. I feel it. Perspective has switched. I don't know what that's called, but perspective's switched and it's weird.
It's weird. Life is weird.
Mm-hmm.
There's all kinds of weird shit going on in this life. You ever heard that the richest, not the richest, the most smartest kid in the world talk about infinite galaxies and shit?
That little boy that you sent the video about?
Oh my God.
I can't even understand him. I'm not there yet.
He's brilliant.
But how does a being like that, that amazes me. It's fascinating how a little being like that can not necessarily just understand it, but then articulate it back.
Yeah. I'll be looking at Dom, man. I'll be like, Dom, you're so smart. I just wish I was smarter. I wish I could have showed you more. I don't know MC squared.
We ain't from that life.
I'm sorry, Dom. I know you want to learn, man. I can give you books, buddy.
I know, but I think that level that little boy is, I forget his name, and the chess one,
mm-hmm.
I think that's way beyond what they're just exposed to. I think that's in their soul.
But
how
the
do
chess player,
the chess player, how do you teach a child?
Father, right? His parents played chess.
Was it?
It has to be. Come on now.
But how do you teach a child to have a memory in that capacity? How do you teach anybody to have memory in that capacity? And how do you teach a child to want to be so... they had to pull him out of school. So he's homeschooled. He self-schools himself because he's just...
Too smart.
Yeah, he's just way too smart. He was doing college class courses in second grade
dumb.
or something. Yeah, there was
You don't know algebra.
Yeah.
He don't know how to pay his taxes.
You know what's scary? He's 9 and he doesn't know how to pay his taxes yet. But there was... what's scary is that... the moms were talking about this little boy, and they were saying, there's a lot of children like him in a sense of if they were funneled properly, they can tap into their inner genius. But they're often labeled as having something wrong with them because they can't sit still, right? Because they can't focus on what's being taught, because what's being taught, they either already know, they're so not interested in it because their mind is in another world.
I can't stand those type of people. Because I always...
So kudos to his parents for recognizing it's not that he had an issue and he was jittery, it's that he was really intelligent and needed to be challenged way more. So they kept
Every situation I've been in with a child that's been labeled like that, I always saw it as the opposite. Every time I seen a parent and they always say, "Oh, my child's a little this or a little." Every time it came into interaction with the child, I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "What are you talking about? You're retarded. And you are retarded. You don't have the patience to deal with the child."
To sit there and figure out what is going on.
Every situation. I don't remember a time when I sat down with a child that wasn't on medication. You know what I mean? You can tell when the kid, kind of tell when the kid is on medication, but a child that's not on medication, they just wild, they're all over the place, whatever the case is. Every situation, the child, the parent was like, oh, I think I should take him to see a psychiatrist, or I don't know, I think I should take him to the doctor. I'm like, what are you talking about? The child, she's a kid. He has all this energy and it needs to be directed. You're not a good teacher. You're just not good at it.
Well, it's also what we're
a product of what
we're a product of our exposed to, right? So by default, at 5 years old, every child's supposed to go to school. So you spend your first 5 years of life learning how to physically move, and then you spend the next 13 years being told to sit still and listen to somebody who you don't know. True. Listen to stuff that you don't want to learn about. When for the first 5 years, all you were doing was figuring out your physicality, figuring out how to do different movements and how to express yourself, and then how to take in information. And then we're put in this system that tells us now you have to listen to somebody that you don't know. But for the first 5 years, all you know are your parents and the people around you. So
how do you develop the characteristic where you can analyze what you're going through and you can sit back and digest and be like, damn, maybe I shouldn't have did it this way, or maybe I don't know it all. Like, how do you develop that characteristic when?
I think that's humility.
Yeah, but how do you teach that? How do you, like, as anybody, as like, do you ever go through a time when it's like, maybe I wasn't taught right, or maybe he should be doing that, or maybe I should step back and like make it like how do you develop a mindset where you can sit back and analyze, actually just sit back and analyze and question it rather than just making a decision right away? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you teach that? How do you tell people like what you mean or what you say kind of may not be right? Like, it may be wrong, it may be right, and analyze it to not take it as concrete. You know
I think that comes with experience, and I think that's a part of this whole, my birthday's coming, and I feel like another piece of that lens has been lifted, and I'm starting to see things a little bit differently, and it makes a big difference of what you've gone through in your life. I think when you decide to have children, so Evie and Justin were born at a stage in my life where I was just about working and doing this and whatever, and that's because that's what I was taught to do, right? You go into the field, when you're of age, you go and you get a job and you gotta hustle so that you can take care of your family. But then my kids were being raised by someone else. They were being raised by their nanny, and so her perspectives plays a huge part in that initial, molding of those children, right? So like, she and I may not be aligned. I may like her because she's a good caretaker, but we may not be aligned in our values and our morals and our teachings, but she's the one that's taking care of my kids, right? So, but I'm over here busy working because that's what I think I'm supposed to do while my kids are 2 years old and 3 years old. So that's what I was taught. So then you go through that. So I'm in my 20s, right? I'm trying to raise these kids, but I'm teaching them things that I was taught that may not have been necessarily right. That doesn't mean that it was wrong. That just means that that's what we know, right? We teach what we know. So now we go and we have a child, and I'm in my I'm past 35, and my lens is completely different. Like, I know I should be the one that's with Dom for his first 5 years. Like, but when I was 20-something, that's not what I was conditioned to believe. It was completely different. So I think the only way to get that perspective is through experience, to take a step back and look at everything and say, okay, wait a minute. Just because you were taught something and just because you were raised this way doesn't mean it was necessarily the right way. It's just you were a product of your environment the same way your parents were a product of their environment, and they did the best with what they had, and the same way you do the best with what you have. So with Dominic, it is a completely different experience. I feel like I started all over. I feel like I have a different perspective, and I have a patience that I didn't have at 23 years old. You don't have a mature patience at 23 years old because you want everything right now. And you expect your kids to be like, right now. Like, you're dragging them down the street. And with Dominic, I walk behind him. I let him go at his pace, because he's his own individual. He's a product of us, but he's still his own individual. He's not a branch of me. He's his own whole self. So I have to learn him. It's not his job to learn me. I have to learn him and see.
That dude's bad, son.
He's not bad. He's not. He has a strong character. He has a strong will. He's persistent. Where some babies are docile, they're chill. He's chill and relaxed. When we go outside, I don't ever have to deal with him throwing tantrums, right? He doesn't throw tantrums when you take him out. He's not the kid to throw himself on the floor and cry because we're leaving. He actually says, bye, Park. See you later, supermarket. Like, that's... Who does that? He does.
No,
so you have to learn, you have to learn him as a human. He's a human. He's not just our child. He is his own individual human. And I think that level of patience only comes with experience. Because I think during our 20s, we want everything so fast and so this and blah, 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 blah. Because that's what we're, whatever. And I think when you start to hit 30, you start to not slow down physically, but you start to put things into perspective.
Do you think it's experience? Experience definitely plays a part. But what if you learned that in the beginning?
Well, see now, so this is going to be interesting to see, right? Because Dominic isn't necessarily growing up in the traditional sense of we're not pushing him into daycare. We won't be pushing him into school. He's very self-taught in a lot of things. Like, I don't sit here with him and practice ABCs. He looks and he observes and he sees us reading and learning how to use gadgets, and he tries too. So he's very he self-teaches a lot of things. That's why I'm always surprised when he's like, where'd he get that from? Blah, blah, blah. But I think babies naturally are that. And then when we push them into the school system, we take that away from them.
You think you can't only blame the school system? It's not only the school system.
When we push them into conformity.
When we push them anywhere.
Right.
Like, you shouldn't be pushing your child anywhere.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you should teach your child from home. You should,
I think when we push them into any type of system, we're telling them that this is the way they have to learn, instead of us as parents trying to figure out how they learn so that we can give them what they need to continue learning.
I'm actually looking forward to seeing Eva going to high school. I want to see I want to see the transformation. You know what I'm saying? I want to see what happens. Because she's been homeschooled from elementary to junior high school. Right? This is her first time going back to school because she did get a taste of elementary school. Which I don't know if that's good or bad.
It wasn't a great experience for her in elementary school.
But we'll see. I don't know if it's good or bad for as far as the
socially,
whole process.
Socially it wasn't really amazing. Her early years, and then right before we pulled her out, she was having a hard time with certain things, and now she's going into high school though. So it's interesting, right? Because she's kind of going into high school with a little bit of a little more mature of a mindset, in sense of we're both all about, you need to take initiative. Like, you can't depend on people to teach you what you need to know. You need to figure out what you need to know and learn it. And not just one person is going to teach you that. You're going to have to learn from different sources. Like, that's just the way it is. If you're just following one person, then you might as well. That's like being in a cult. I don't think that's the way we learn. I think we have to learn by taking from a little bit of everything and forming our own knowledge.
Dance people, they're rude.
They're rude?
They're rude.
What? Dance people?
They're so rude. Why they so?
They're not.
They're like snotty.
No, they're not.
Oh,
that's like saying gym people are meatheads.
I know.
That's
but
not
I'm so sorry. Listen.
Don't say that.
Every time I walked into a dance studio or anything like that,
well, babe, but you're not. Wait, you need to pause this because I have to use the bathroom. Stop.
Oh my god. Hold on.
What?
I gotta pause it.
That hurts my ears. Dominic's getting yelled at.
Good. You need to get yelled at.
Yeah, hard time. She's smart. She said, okay, you can play with the sand in your room. I'm gonna have sand all over the floor.
That's what she's doing? She's sweeping right now? Oh my god. Yeah.
You sound nuts.
Well, I'm glad that I got you onto the podcast.
Thanks, babe.
It's the first time.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Hopefully you get to do more with us. Looking forward to what have you on here. Definitely bring a good energy.
Next time we'll talk about something very specific, and I'll interview you again.
Okay. No problem. That sounds like a plan.
You have a lot of knowledge up in there, babe.
A little bit.
We just need to organize it and get it out.
Get a chopper?
Organize it, yeah.
Chopper keeper?
With some dividers and get it out.
All right. People get to where can people find you if they want to look up your work and everything like that?
We didn't even talk about work. We didn't talk about.
I know,
work.
but if people want to, people are gonna see this and they're gonna be like, who is that? Who work?
I have to self-plug. That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, definitely. I'll put it in a link too.
Put it in a link, but my photos are on. Oh my god, I've had that site forever. It's my name, ChastityCortijo.com. CORTIJO.com. It's been there forever. We've been doing photography for oh my gosh, 8 years.
Goddamn.
8 years.
It's a long time.
We've been doing it, yeah. So 2 more years and we'll hit our decade. And then we're slowly pushing out the social media admin stuff on BrooklynPencil.com. So it's not fully released yet.
BrooklynPencil.com?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you go. You got ChastityCortijo.com or ChastityCortijoPhotography.com.
No, it's ChastityCortijo.com.
Oh, she changed it. It used to be photography.
No,
she was like,
it
yo, people
wasn't.
keep typing photography. How you spell photography?
Just link it.
Oh, what you're going to have to
do?
do is change it to something.com.
What? The photo stuff?
Whatever stuff.
It's too much. But the photo stuff is always going to be my photo stuff. And then the agency, the Brooklyn Pencil, is going to be created into this agency that I want to eventually be able to employ stay-at-home moms.
You going to have jobs?
Yeah.
How do you get a job? I want to get a job.
You cannot get. I can't work with you.
Come on,
you
man,
can't
get
work.
a job,
You want me
son.
to be your boss?
I don't care. How much you paying? How much?
You see, that's why. That's the first question. You didn't even ask what the job entails. You just said how much. What I gotta do? I'm making you that T-shirt this weekend. I'm making you the T-shirt.
How much? You want a T-shirt done?
I'll work for almost
I'll get it done tomorrow. I'll make it right now. What do you want?
No.
You want a handmade?
You don't even get to the interview process.
You want a handmade?
No.
You want a hat to go with it?
Job for you. No job for you.
All right, that's Chastity Cortijo. We out.